Anybody else? All right. So I'm very pleased to introduce to you our special guest for the day, who is Laurie DiFrancesco. Now, I know that if you're an experienced agent, you definitely know who Laurie is. You definitely know what an icon she is in the business and how passionate she is. She is also a director for HGAR, and this year is running RPAC, right? And she is here to discuss with us why RPAC is important to you and what RPAC can do for you. So thank you, Laurie, for coming to talk with us today.
Impressive setup for a Tuesday meeting. Really good. Okay. First of all, yes, I do know a lot of you. It's my pleasure. Either I met you doing business or you've been in my CE classes. This is not a class. Let me ask, just to get a show of hands, how many people have been contributing to RPAC in the business regularly? Okay, I'm going to assume the rest of the people have no idea what RPAC is, and I think that's why Jennifer asked me to come. We need our car for business, right? Do we carry insurance?
Yes.
Okay, we carry insurance because if our car goes out of business, we're out of business. I'm not a political person, quote. And those of you who know me are laughing at that, but I'm really not a political person. But what I am is a 31-year-old veteran of the real estate industry. And in 31 years, I have seen such political movement and changes that would affect our everyday business that I stopped and said, either this is a job or this is a career. If you're here, I'm assuming it's a career. And if it's a career, we need to know that we can do business this year and next year. And as I said, 31 years later, I still want to do business. So what do I need? A political force to help get me business. Let's be honest. We get on the phone. We get a live buyer. That's all we care about. We put them together with the right property. That's all we care about. But what if, when we spoke to that buyer, and we tried to explain to him how he can afford to buy a home, there was no mortgage interest deduction allowed on his income? Think a minute. Those of you who are experienced and those of you who are new, who possibly had it in a training, have understood that someone in the 30% tax bracket, 30% of those high taxes we pay, they would be paying anyway, so they can afford the house. I explain it as the only subsidy they give middle-class people. The only way they help them is saying, instead of paying it to the state or federal tax, you can apply it to your own property tax and have your own home. We fight every year as they review taxes to continue to have the mortgage interest deduction tax. If we lost it, there was a study done that both the West Coast and the East Coast would lose 30% of their business. It's major. Let's think a little bit more. Anybody here do short sales? Okay. Short sales are there now because we have this abundance of inventory of homes that are, we call, underwater. And the sellers of these homes have an option. They can go into foreclosure. They can get evicted. They can give a deed. Or they can do a short sale. And a short sale can only be done with a real estate professional in the transaction. Homeowners can't do that alone. Well, when you do a short sale or there's a foreclosure, are you aware that the banks have a right to claim the deficiency? I'm actually aware of a case now where someone has for $400,000 on a deficiency foreclosure. But there's a law, the mortgage forgiveness. It's in effect 1 more year until the end of this year. We've had that law reinstated twice, and we are not planning to get it again this time, which means that this year, if you go for a short sale and your client has given up the money in the short sale, you get an agreement to remove the deficiency. So it's not like a foreclosure where they're exposed. But more important, the IRS has a right to tax the seller on the money that's forgiven. We got the law in effect saying no. They can't afford the house, they can't afford the taxes. Without that law, our short sale business would go down. Because if they had to pay taxes on that $150,000, they don't have the money.
Yeah, I don't think some people realize the magnitude of that tax on these people. It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I bring it up at this point. And actually, in anything we discuss with short sales, that tax obligation, if it goes back into place January 1st, 2017, which we're expecting, is going to change the face of the real estate business we're doing now. I believe that real estate moves the economy. I believe that when housing increases, so does our economics. And when we fall, we've just come out of this recession. We need to protect our industry. We need to support our industry. Anybody here as bad as I am buys coffee every day? It's almost embarrassing. I pulled into my Dunkin' Donuts window this morning and the girl goes, "I got your order." I'm there every morning. That's the way I start my day. And I spend $3.46, actually I'm lying, $3.11. I get senior pricing now. Every day. So that's $20 a week. Do I even think about it? No, it's $20. RPAC is asking everyone who makes money, everyone who does business, to understand the fact that you need to contribute. $1 a day would seem normal if we think about it, but I know you're not going to do that. We are asking that all members of Hudson Gateway contributes their fair share. And the fair share is so little, they didn't even want me to announce it. They wanted me to make up a new one. But I'm looking for people who have never thought of supporting their industry to get involved and see what it is. Fair share is $25 a year. Guys, if you can't afford it, you don't belong in this room. If you can't think of the fact that this year we have so many issues that we have to fight. Now, we have new legislation that we're aiming for. Those of you who've seen me teach know I'm terrible with notes. I do have them here if you have questions. But we're starting the first-time homebuyer savings account. You know how amazing it would be if our young millennials, they can all start putting aside money tax-free to buy the house? And we're looking for $10,000 a year for 5 years. That's one of the legislations that we are going to be lobbying for. We do other things. We do small things. Anybody here in the business where they've changed companies? A few years ago, I looked at this and I said, oh my God, everyone is paying $10 to leave their company and has to wait for the broker to submit the $10. Then they're paying $10 to join a company. Well, you don't pay to leave anymore. You pay $20 to sign up. But the transaction, it goes much quicker. Small little legislation that we got passed. Advanced consent to dual agency, that's something you guys use every day. That's legislation that we got done. We got DOS to change it through our political movement. We said, wait a minute, independent contractors are just that. The truth of the matter is that you may work for the same broker, but you don't know his business. He doesn't know yours. He can keep it separate, and you can each advocate for your own side and not jump ship. That's a legislation we got passed that does your business every day. How many people read Como's response on STAR? Okay, is everybody familiar with STAR?
Yeah.
Nobody's that good, right? I actually was doing a qualifying class right now, and I brought up STAR, and they looked up at the slides. There is a change he's trying to get into effect for 2018, where instead of the STAR reduction coming off before you pay your taxes, you will get a check later. That means everyone's monthly payment will increase at least $100 a month. We're going to be lobbying with this to try to keep STAR in place. STAR was created by the Realtor Association, by the way. We were the ones who brought it forward. We're going to be working on this before this goes into place. There's a lot of ways to contribute to RPAC. The easiest one, and I brought some pledge sheets in case anyone doesn't have a checkbook with them, because I will be asking you to donate. You can come to our activities and have some fun. We have RPAC for fun. What are the activities? Anybody like Yankees games? Not too many, but we have the Yankee game coming up in June, where you buy your ticket. We have a little party, we have our seats, you got to hang out with another 50 or 70 realtors, bring your kids. Your contribution will go to RPAC and you get a great day. For Rockland County, we're going to do Levity Live again. Okay, I'm setting that up probably October, November. I'm meeting with them. We get a great turnout. You get $20 for food. You get a ticket into a comedy club. You've got another 40 or 50 realtors to network with. And you paid $50, but that's your food and your drink. You can entertain yourself on this. We have activities going on in each county. We have 4 counties in Hudson Gateway. So we have pub nights. Up in Orange County, we're having a trivia night. We're having a couple of restaurants with drinks. We had a great activity up in Thunder Ridge in Putnam 2 months ago. It's beautiful. On the ski lodge, looking out. All the food, you bought your own drinks. We can't buy you drinks. We would be responsible when you leave there. We wouldn't want to do that. But you have everything else. So you can write a check for $25, you can do a credit card for $25, and be counted. Currently, we have 2,000 members, 2,000 plus members of a 10,000 association that are supporting RPAC. That's an embarrassment. Our goal is 4. And because of that goal is why I'm here today. And we're asking everyone at the meetings to explain, or for someone to give me a reason here why you would not contribute a week's worth of coffee to guarantee that someone is talking in the state and in Washington to protect your rights to do business. I don't know how many of you were aware, but for the last 2 years, there's been a law they're trying to pass in the state legislation. That law says a licensee can only do business in the county where their office is. Yeah. We have a state license. They are saying that if you go outside of your brokerage county, you wouldn't have the knowledge. We threw it down 3 times. We're hoping it doesn't come back again, but we're not letting it through. Sprinkler systems. That was hours stopping it. The cost on new construction alone, and I know a lot of you are involved in new construction, to put in a sprinkler system would raise the prices beyond where a buyer could afford. But even worse, they didn't take into consideration the entire state does not have municipal water. That a house on a well would have to build a shed to store the water that it would need for a sprinkler system. We knocked it down. How would you like every one of your listings and every one of your purchase offers to have to be signed by Rosemary? There was another law they tried to get passed where the broker, not the authorized representative, which is the way we do business, would have to sign each piece of paper, and everyone on everything would have to put their license number. Now we have to do it today for the trade. Yeah, don't ask me why. They need the broker's license on the bill and the agent's license. But how about on every piece of paper, every document you do? There's a lot of small things that make your business go smoother. And they go smoother because we have the legislation to protect you as an industry. We are a major lobbying force. In New York State, we have just about 50,000 members. We make a stand. Your broker sends you call to action, I'm assuming, whenever we get them. It's click and done, and the voices are heard. You need your voice heard. You are handling the largest transaction in someone's life. And if you can't protect your way of doing business, you're not going to have the 30 years I had. Or more that Diane had. She beat me, I think.
Thanks for mentioning it.
Well, Diane and I go back to my first
We
company.
make money together.
Yes, we
That's
do.
the way I always look at it.
Yes, we do. So now I'm just, Sue.
Didn't RPAC also help fight for the banks not to be able to sell real estate?
That is a major thing. Yes, they did that. We also are fighting now with the National Flood Insurance to keep the rates down. There's a list. Actually, I printed up some of these, which are pledges that have them on there. I could run down 20 items that you can't even think about that RPAC did. What I'm asking everyone in here is to not donate $25. Have your office counted. Have yourself counted for the fact that, yes, I stand for good business. I stand for the consumer. We protect the consumer. And that's how we promote ourselves. We're consumer oriented. We protect the consumer. We protect the environment. But I hate to sound really basic. I make a real good living in this business. I want that living to stay in place until I'm ready to retire. I don't need laws that slow me down. I don't need my clients hurt. I need you to help us. My background is, yes, I'm RPAC chair this year for Hudson Gateway. I was regional vice president for the New York State Association of Realtors for 2 years. I was president of the Rockland Board for 2 years. I've been a state director for about 24 years. And the reason, and I sit as the vice chair of Article 12A. And those of you who are in the business more than 2 years have no idea what 12A is anymore. But 12A is licensing laws. And Ralph Ragite and myself have been chairing this for 8 years, getting the laws that we need to steering to legislative to get passed to make our business better. Whether it was the advanced consent, the termination, little things, big things. There's a transactional brokerage issue, which we're working with the state on. All these items. Legislation directs our business. we need to direct legislation. So anyone, I won't embarrass you, that hasn't donated, if you want to give me a check now, you can. I'm leaving these pledges for you to fill out. I expect to check the roster next week and see that Keller Williams in New City is going toward 100% support. And we're trying to work out where we can publish the offices who are telling us, yes, we're gonna stop the crap. We're gonna keep doing business. And we understand that without our lobbying forces, we can't do it.
What are some other ways that people can get involved besides donating money?
Thank you for asking. We have committees, and what I did this year with the RPAC committee is I made it completely open to everyone. I didn't want to choose just directors and keep it inbred. I needed new ideas. We have committees that if you want to join, send me an email and I'll put you on the list for the next meeting. And the committees can assist at the functions. I had the distinct honor in 2008 of getting the State Association highest award, the Lawrence B. Caldwell Service Award for RPAC. And the reason I'm bringing that up after your question is I'm the only one, it's only been going out now for 12 years, that doesn't give 5, 10,000, 50, I don't have it. I didn't get it because of the amounts I gave. I got it because, yes, I've been an RPAC supporter from day one. And they actually used, years and years ago, how many remember the Bernsteins? Yeah. Okay. We had an auction, and Martin Bernstein, may he rest in peace, gave me his wife's bracelet. We were at a luncheon. And I stood up thinking nothing of it and auctioned it off for RPAC. Those are the kind of things that you can get involved with. You can set up an RPAC, and I'll help, I'm in the county, function for your office, where you can do an auction, a potluck, anything. You can best get involved by getting involved in the legislation, staying on top of it, and listening at the meetings. And you can join any of the RPAC committee, which will get you involved. Other questions? Yes?
When is Realtor Day, Realtor Lobby Day this year?
Realtor Lobby Day this year is May 24th. We got it a little earlier, so we're not the day that they finish. We were fighting for that.
Can you explain a little bit what that means? We have a lot of new people in the room who might not understand what it is.
On May 24th this year, and once a year every year, the Realtors march on Albany. The best way to say it. All of our different areas of the state get together, the members go up, and we address our legislators, showing the force and going over those programs we need them to support. We usually have somewhere between 500 and 600 realtors there on Lobby Day. And it looks pretty strong. And we do have a bus that we rent so people don't want to drive. You can come up on the bus. It leaves from the West Nyack office and other places, but for here it would be West Nyack. We drive up, there is breakfast, there is a speaker from the House, or Mike Kelly, who's our Government Affairs Director. We then go and meet with the different senators and assemblymen that represent us. There is a lunch, and then the bus goes back home after the meetings. It's a great day, and you get one of the things that we're missing in this generation of realtors, and I'm looking at Val, who understands it so much, and I am so proud of you, by the way, my darling, is that we don't network enough outside our own offices. It is, Joe and I are laughing, we used to get together and talk to each other so that when we had a transaction, I knew who you were. When Sue calls me, it's easy for us to negotiate, or Val or Diane or anyone in this room that I know, because we have faces. These RPAC functions are going to allow you to get to know your industry. Neutral grounds. A little bit of fun. We are an individual business, each one of us. And then we have a little office. But we're bigger than that. We're bigger. We're an entire state of people that are great to know for networking. And we all have the same problems. Okay? And our problem is our life cycle goes like this, and then hopefully back like this. And when you're with other realtors, you can express and laugh and talk. So it gives you two effects. One, it'll protect your business. And two, it'll make you a better realtor by knowing people. Any other questions? I guess that's it.